What is up, Sand Shark family? Welcome back to another episode of the Sand Shark Rewind. I'm your host, Bracken Lambert, alongside my co-host, Justin Jarrett, Wes Kerr, and our boy, Donald Pearson. Hopefully he is able to check in, but I don't know. After the Bills-Broncos game, I don't know if
he might be drowning his sorrows.
Yeah.
Depends if he pre-gamed and then that hit, it's hard to come back from that depression if you're in a certain state of mind. But Kevin Libby also with us in spirit and listening as I invited him to join us because he was diligently watching the Sand Sharks on the road the last couple of games after sitting in with me. But he's got a paper he's finishing up and all kind of stuff. So he couldn't be here, but he's with us in spirit.
Well, Kevin, wish you were with us, man. And I think he's probably watching. I think he's probably the one watching right now. So
he's the one who hit like.
So. Well, I'm sure. Yeah. I mean, maybe he'll show up in the comment section very soon.
How was the weekend, guys? JJ, I know you had a busy day.
Oh my God, I'm so tired, guys. So yesterday was wrestling tournament day, which coaching wrestling is by far, in my opinion, the biggest grind in coaching of any sport. It was a 12-hour day. From the time we got to the gym to the time we left the gym. It is so intense all day long. It's, the stakes are high every match because you can only lose twice. And if you lose that second when you're gone, so it's an emotional roller coaster. I think I approached stroking out at least 2 or 3 times, but we got through the day. We got some guys through to sectionals. And I was exhausted, but I had to balance out my equilibrium today by getting outside and coaching girls. So softball clinic. We kicked off the first ever officially the first One Loco Sunday Skills in the Ville clinic. We had about 20 girls basketball players in the gym. I had 6 girls over on the softball field. This was very impromptu. We didn't get clearance to go ahead and do it this week until kind of last minute. So it's kind of a soft launch type deal. And so it's just getting the word out late, but we plan to enhance these in the coming weeks. And I talked to you a little bit about, hopefully in the off seasons, we can get your coaches involved too. So we can really, the idea to give access to high level coaching and instruction and quality reps for kids who don't have access to such, and a lot of kids don't. The reality is that those kinds of things have gotten very expensive and it's hard to get access to the great coaching that really helps kids get to where they want to go. And it's especially the kids in the marginalized communities that are, kind of kept out in the cold often. Some of them will get an opportunity, but many don't. And so we just want to take it to their turf. So that's why we're in Hardyville now. And we want to get, to Beaufort, and we want to get to Hampton and Colleton and all those places, and hopefully help them build kind of something on the grassroots level that blossoms, and then we can all go head to head right here and not have to go traveling somewhere else to sharpen the iron, so it's a work in progress. It's one of those things where we've been talking about it for so long, and it was like, let's just get boots on the ground and do it and see what it looks like and come back next weekend and make it better. So off to a great start. And Rob Benson was running the basketball with his guys, Coach Fish and Mike Keenan. They're the brains and brawn behind the whole H2 basketball thing that has, it's taken girls basketball to a higher level than we've ever been over here as part of the state. But
H2 local.
We got to build it back up because all those pioneers graduated, and now build it up through the next generation so we can sustain it.
Well, we have a good one in Courtney Campbell. We have a good one.
Oh yeah,
future Sand Shark, man.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it's that's the big thing and hopefully we can really build this community up here. And hey, I'm still waiting for the Loco basketball showdown. I still got the magnet
I still got the jerseys, bro. And
oh man, that was the 2020
we're
COVID.
doing it. We're gonna do it. I
Ages
don't
ago.
know when. We gotta figure out venue and all that stuff. But
Yeah, maybe.
I'm determined. I'm determined that we got to make it happen
at
this
the
year.
Cove. How about the Cove?
We got to talk to Sean.
Yeah, there's some compliance
thing.
hurdles, but the Ville is now very much on the table,
Yes.
and the Ville is if you ain't been there, it's in the top 3 gyms in the local.
Yeah, and we had over the summer we had the Low Country Legacy basketball tournament that we have.
Yeah, exactly. Hardyville Rec, and they have spilled over to the Ville this year, right? Or did they not? No,
the game that tournament was in Hardyville.
Yeah, Hardyville Rec.
Yep.
Yeah, but now we got the high school too. So
nice. Indeed, we do.
That's a good segue into what we're gonna talk about tonight, and we're gonna talk some Sand Shark hoops. And man, you kind of felt like after Saturday we were on a big high. Our first Peach Belt sweep, and you hit the road, but man, you're just like you're ready to rock and roll. And for one team, it did, and for the other, you're still sitting there, and
for the other, it was so close, man. Until the last few minutes, it was all up. Like we were about to knock off Lander on the road, and everything was great. The Jackal was jackling, and it was all great. And then it wasn't, and then the Jackal was at the trainer table, and Bartol, as they kept calling her, was dazed and confused, and it was, oh no, not this again.
Yeah. Well, both of them sat out on yesterday against GSW, and it was the first trip that we made to Americas for the women's team last year. Last year we did not play. We didn't have enough healthy bodies last year to make that trip.
That's the one that we literally we can't come. No,
like we
don't have enough.
We had 5 healthy players. And
yeah.
I mean, Sharon was not. She's like, no, I'm not doing that to them. I can't.
Well, if you leave with 5 healthy players, you come back with 3. I mean, that's the reality.
Yeah. So, it's gonna be a grind. And I did talk to Sheridan after the game, and she said that she had just tweaked her foot. Nothing to be too concerned about.
From earlier.
I don't know if it's the same foot, but she said it's nothing to worry about. Just probably being cautious.
Yeah.
And the same thing with Bart. Bart was in sweats in the jumpsuit the whole time and was like, dang, and you obviously missed those two because Bart,
I mean, it's the guards. It's the guards, man. They're the key to everything.
Yeah. And then GSW, I think they came out with a little bit of a chip on their shoulder because they didn't get to play this game last year. And I think they really just came out and were like, we're going to, And it was, Lydia put together a great game, her career high 22 points.
Nice.
And that was her first 20-point game of the year. And so, but you got to get Jay right. And Jay's been struggling a little bit from the field right now. If you get Jay right, you better watch out.
Yeah. I think Jay's got to just know when to pull the reins a little bit. I mean, I know you are what you are and shooter's going to shoot and all that, but like her game in particular is so much mid-range. And if analytics have taught us anything, it's that's not a good shot early in the shot clock,
right.
So I think sometimes she decides she's going to shoot on that possession, and she does, and sometimes she shouldn't. And so I think she's just got to be a little bit smarter with her decision making, her a little more selective with her shot taking, because when she takes the right shots, she's an animal, and she's got to understand what her strengths are. Her biggest strength is playing off the ball, because she is so good at collecting those offensive rebounds and turning them into points. And so, she's much better if she brings the ball up or is in a position to go, dribble in and take a 15-footer. I'd much rather see her give the ball up and then cut and try to get the ball closer to the rim and maybe get to the line, or at least be there for a backside rebound if somebody else takes a shot. So, and I'm sure she hears the same thing from her coach, and certainly her coaches know about a billion times more about basketball than I do. But I just want to see her, she penetrates well, but when you can only get to 15 feet, kick it and then
Yeah.
roll and see if we can get something closer to the basket or a 3-pointer, because analytically it's a better shot, an open three. So that's where I am.
And it's gonna take her a few games to get herself back underneath. She
Sure.
missed most of the non-conference season. She
And that's
picked
kind
up
of what I
one-
mean, is until she gets back in a rhythm, she needs
Right.
to just kind of adjust her game.
Yeah. And I think that you have more options with Sheridan out there, and she's, that was something I did talk to Brady about during our staff meeting. I said, tell me about the last play of the game where you kicked it out to Sherry for that last, that 3-pointer. And yeah, I mean, it was statistically, it was probably the better shot to take. But again, and in my head, and then, I'm sitting here watching the game, for work. Some of it is like, man, you've got it. Maddie's got to get the confidence back to go straight up when she's got right there and she's on the blocks.
Yeah.
We joked about
she's
it.
gotten a little gun shy because she's in there with the trees, and but she's so good with her positioning and with her hips. Like she can create space for herself. She's just got to go strong up into the body and draw the, you're going to draw the foul if you get into them. But if you're fading away, you're not going to get it.
That's what I told her. I said, man, we were in the gym and we were walking back. This was Friday, and man, I was just like, goodness gracious. And I just like, when she had the ball on the blocks, all she had to do was turn and go up. Yeah. And then before she kicked it out, now, I mean, it resulted in a 3-point play, which was great. But man, all she had to do was go up. And I literally got up and I jumped and I said, Maddie, go up,
Yeah. She's awesome. She knows what her role is, and she plays it to a T, but she's got to recognize that she's capable of more and kind of, push her boundaries a little bit and be a little more aggressive on offense, not always defer, like you said, and just go strong with it. Because she collects that offensive rebound. She's looking to get rid of it. It's a hot potato, man. But I want her to go back up strong with it right now, because and that, to be fair, she's not really a post player. She's kind of she's kind of adjusting to a role where she's got to play inside a little bit more. But she's really a wing, I mean, that's what she came here as. So, but personnel dictates, what you got to do. But she does yeoman's work. She's a good program kid, from everything I see.
And she's like, I mean, like you said, program kid, but she's fantastic in the classroom. And she works her butt off.
That's part of program kid to me.
I feel like that's, you see that with a bunch of these kids in this program. It's not just one or two. I think from what we saw last year, the first group of ladies that became the Saint Shark team, I think they really showed that they were focused on and off the court, and overall just tremendous student athletes. And those are the kinds of things you see, those hustle plays, and just the IQ of this team. You really see it in full force, and the adversity has continued to grow this year. For I mean, you thought that they had a real opportunity to pull a rabbit out of a hat in that road win and over Lander, which would have been such an enormous victory there. It just unable to get the job done. And then this is a tough place to play. Georgia Southwestern is a great team, and this is a very, very difficult road game. Props to Lily Katosi though for 22. That's I believe the most she has had in terms of points for this team so far, and that's fantastic to see her really take charge and be that leader and be that a high usage player who can make some important buckets. Drained a couple of threes, was impactful, getting to the line, and I'm sure there's things that she would have liked to improve upon in this game, but I'm liking what I'm seeing from Leah Gattusi. And then just just a adversity-like game in that Georgia Southwestern contest. Could not find the shooting stroke in this game. Uh, Georgia Southwest is a terrific defensive team, and really they showed that on the outside. The Sand Sharks, the second quarter found a little bit more of a groove, but just unable to really catch up to that big deficit early on. And this Hurricanes offense really showed off their prowess with Naduke.
Yep.
27. Just a tremendous performance from her, leading the way for a very, very good Georgia Southwestern team. So, yeah, nothing to be ashamed of in that loss. Road games are never easy, and now you just got to find a way to reset and get ready for a homestand.
That's right.
Yeah,
I want to take a second to shout out Kevin Libby's tremendous nickname. I may have to explain it to connect the dots. Don't wake the sleepy cat. He hit me with this the other day. The sleepy cat, Gato Z.
Also, Destiny Garrett with a triple-double for Georgia Southwestern.
She had a triple-double?
Yeah, 10 points, 11 assists, 11 rebounds. Destiny Garrett, triple-double for Georgia Southwestern.
There you go. That wins Player of the Week for the women.
Yep. That's an easy one.
That's an easy one. But, yeah, I mean, you look at it and say – you look at where we are in the standings, and, of course, we're, on the cusp right there just above Aiken. But you've got a really good shot against Georgia College coming in on Wednesday.
Yep.
And you split the series with them last year. You're 1-1. Yep. You took care of business at home.
It's close to a must win. I mean, I know it's really early to be talking about that, but if you really want to feel good about yourself at the end of the season, you kind of need to take care of home against the teams that you're supposed to. And this fits the bill, this is one you need to get a dub. I think, it's not like all is lost if you don't, but
no,
this is one that you got circled. Like we can take this one.
Yeah. Well, if you take this one, you take care of business against USC Aiken. And if you can pick up a road win, against Georgia College or Clayton and Aiken, you're sitting pretty. You pick up those wins. If you pick up a sweep, and that's where you start looking at it. But I will say this: North Georgia is going to come in Saturday, be ready to play because they know that they got stomped.
Yeah, they don't have good feelings about the last time they came to the Cove,
and that was the most epic game. I hate the fact that you both aren't going to be there for that day.
Yeah, I got to coach the wrestling.
So, I mean, it's going to be a game that everyone kind of circles, I think, because no one thought after North Georgia beat us last year by 67 points that they were going to come into the Cove and it was going to be as loud as it was, as ruckus as it was. But man, I'm excited for Saturday though, for the women. I think they're going to come up there and it's going to be. I'm excited for this entire week. You get 2 home games.
Yeah.
I don't mind the split.
I'm bummed about Saturday because I want to be in 2 places at once.
Yeah,
honestly, that would be the dream. That'd be the dream.
Yeah.
Fortunately, we don't get that kind of.
I mean, I guess if I can dip out, and you can feed me the video, and I'll call it over.
But I mean, North Georgia. I mean, that would be a ranked win if we were able to pull the upset.
I mean, not just the women, but the men's game. I mean, you're up against the top team, and now you're
into the men.
Right now, St. 3-1, North Georgia 3-0. So if it holds, if USCB does take care of Georgia College, I mean, this is it. As you would think they would, but it's never a gimme in this conference. But I'd expect that's a pretty strong bet for USCB by the way they're playing on the guys' side. But I mean, you can't overlook it. But that's going to be quite a showdown with North Georgia, and would be one of those early program defining wins if they can get it done.
We just moved up. We moved up to number 2.
2?
We're number 2 right now.
Oh, you mean on
in the
this?
conference? Well, yeah, tied for second in the
I
conference.
mean, tied for second.
with Aiken and Augusta.
Yeah, I mean, like that, but I mean, I hadn't seen because Augusta and Columbus played today, I believe.
Is that updated standings?
Yeah, I mean that's current.
That's current. Who played today?
I believe it was Augusta and Aiken.
Here we go.
Those teams were both. Aiken's 3-1, Augusta's 3-1. So is USCB.
Aiken throttled Augusta 84-49.
Whoa,
moly!
And that was at Aiken. Okay, so
wow.
Whoa.
In terms of that scoreline, goodness,
that's wild.
Yeah.
Kevin says North Georgia's neck so warm. He makes some goofy references, man. I love him. So okay. Man, Georgia Southwestern sitting at 0-4 in the conference, but we saw what them boys are capable of the other night. They get the Sand everything they wanted.
Yeah. But I mean, like, I guess if you look at the grand scheme of things of the standings right here, Georgia College, Georgia Southwestern, you beat the teams that you need to in the standings right now with Georgia College, Clayton State and Georgia Southwestern.
Right.
And then you pick up that win against Lander.
Right.
Man, that's huge.
So, I mean, look, I mean, here's the deal. You beat Georgia College on Wednesday. That game on Saturday is for first place in the conference in some aspect. You know, because you'd knock North Georgia into the tie at best.
And you'd have head-to-head,
Yeah. So, I mean, we'd be looking at a tie for first with 2 wins this week. So this is a huge
and I mean, and a great opportunity for both students and community members to pack the Cove both Wednesday night and Saturday. I mean, this team really feeds off that home crowd energy, and so it's such a valuable opportunity to play these games at home in front of such a terrific group of fans that we get to see night in, night out over at the Cove. So, I expect on both Wednesday night and Saturday some terrific crowds bracking at these ball games.
Oh, I agree. I think Wednesday. Shout out to Justin Shelley, who is the director of housing on campus over there in Bluffton, and he came to me before the break and said, hey, what about this, whiteout Wednesday, the first Wednesday game back? So they went out and they got t-shirts. They're like awesome looking t-shirts. I didn't pause myself real quick. They look great. It's going to be a great night. They're giving the shirts out to students prior to, I think they got like 250 shirts, something like that. Nice. So Wednesday, wear white. It's going to be epic. And I mean, they've done, I will say the RAs have done some research, a lot of Instagram stalking. Let's just say that.
Okay.
So it's going to be loud. And I really do expect everybody to come out there and just be a great atmosphere for both games,
out, baby.
Yep.
So, and I can guarantee Finnegan will be there. I spoke with Finnegan.
See Finnegan.
You spoke with him personally?
I spoke with Finnegan personally. He almost hit me with his two.
Good to go.
But, I mean, if we just go back and we look and we talk about that game with Lander on the guys' part, man, they were just in control that entire game. They really were. And Lander didn't do themselves any favor going 0 for 12 before making their first three-pointer. They went 4 for 16, but we still controlled that game.
Yeah. I was nervous a couple times.
Oh, I was too, but
I mean, I don't know if controlled is the right word necessarily. But we were never, I guess controlled is mostly controlled. Yeah, but it was scary at the end still.
Oh, I mean, yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean, it was scary.
It's like
And
they're starting to feel like the Chiefs. Okay, like for me, they're gonna put you
Never
through
easy.
some stuff,
Never easy.
but you're never like that nervous, but you're kind of filled with existential
It's
dread.
to you.
You know, like
yeah.
it's a wild ride. It's a roller coaster.
Yeah. I mean, it was a roller coaster of emotions. I'll tell you that. It
Yeah.
just got back and forth a little bit. But man, every single punch that Lander threw, we had a counter. And the same thing with Georgia Southwestern. And Kenny Gaines, man, he is having a hell of a senior year. He knocked down that triple, made it 93, 90, or 92, or whatever it was, 93, 92, 92,
Yeah.
I don't know, whatever it was.
Yeah. That was like the only made shot that I saw in the whole game because I picked it up real late and I was like, KG. And I said, splash. We were actually watching on the TV in the living room. Wife and daughter were actually watching. And
Nice.
I said, KG for 3, splash.
Yeah.
And,
I love it.
I got to get that.
The camera person just totally whiffed on the rest of the game.
Yeah. You missed the last 8 seconds. But here's my thought process on that last bit. Kenny makes that shot with roughly 17 seconds left on the clock. They inbound.
Yeah.
They come back.
They wasted way too much.
Or they made the 2 foul shots to make it a 1-point game with like 17 or with like 8 seconds left, whatever it was. And they didn't foul.
Yeah, they wasted way too much time.
Like,
let us get it all the way into the front court and run clock before they fouled. I mean, I know you want to go for the steal. You don't want to cheat yourself out of at least trying to get a steal. And USCB just was able to break the press pretty quickly and get it up court. But yeah, it's a little bit of a gamble. But I think that's really what it was. I think they wanted to try if they could get a steal or a 10-second call in the backcourt. That was their preference. Just get the ball back with one shot to win. And so they were going to go for that. And then if you don't get that, you foul. But it's really just, do you want to do it for 2 more possessions or just 1 more and try to get a steal? And that's kind of what I boiled down to. At 17, you're it's getting a little tight to really get two trips in there. So you'd probably just go, hey, let's just go for the steal here. If we don't get it, we'll foul. Worst case, we're down 3 and we get a look at it, you know? So yeah, I didn't think it was really terribly mismanaged. I think it's just, you can go 1 of 2 ways there at that point. It's kind of in between no man's land.
Yeah. But you know what? A win is a win. And that's all that matters. That's 2 wins for the guys. So a couple
do we even know what happened at the other end of the floor after?
We don't ask you how.
And they went and did they get a shot? Like,
I don't think so. It just, I mean, because we had, I thought we had the ball. Because it said in the play-by-play, it said that Hudson picked up a defensive picked up a rebound or something like that.
Okay, that's what I was just going to look at. So what is the play-by-play?
But
we couldn't see it. The camera was
he wasn't focused on us.
Oh, yeah. So they did miss a shot because it says missed free throw by Hudson, rebound by Lars Nilsson, missed layup by Antoine Weber Jr. The paint, defensive rebound by Hudson Norton.
Okay.
Woo.
Cool.
Wow.
I'm almost glad I didn't see that. I
End.
might have struck out there.
Yeah.
After all that wrestling and then see that, I might have just struck right on the spot.
But
yeah, you come out of a tough burn environment with an enormous win. And these guys are just so battle tested from just go back to the non-conference games and how they performed then. They had a lot of close games there too that they won by 1 point or 2 points. It was tight. Like you said, I love the comparison to the Chiefs because it just seems that like mentality, they're winning the close ones. They know how to get it done. And good teams and the teams that are playing deep into March at every level of college basketball, they don't win close games. And that's the required.
You look at it and you say, hey, this was the game that really kind of changed everything for him. 7 guys in double figures.
Yep.
And all right on the doorstep.
Yeah. Christian hits one more of those buckets that he had, man. Or if he hits his 2 free throws, that's 8 guys. And
terrific team effort. Terrific team effort.
Ollie has not been his shot hasn't found it here lately, but man, he's dishing out the assist and he's doing what he needs to do.
Yep.
Nolan in the same bucket, he hasn't, he scored 1 bucket but he only took 1 shot. So
really efficient,
exactly what I'm talking about
from Kevon and Dominic Eason and several others, Kyle Pulse. I mean, just doing their job and converting on the opportunities that they get. And it's just a really well-run team, and Ron Fidal's getting the most out of this entire lineup. It's really fun basketball when they're playing up to that high level, and they play with grit too. It's not just the speed, it's not just the explosiveness. They can lock in, make some big stops on defense at times. Now, this is a high-scoring game, 92-91, but the offense came through when it needed to in this ball game, shooting over 50%, 55%. And over 50% from 3, which is really impressive.
Yeah,
that's some terrific shooting from this group.
But
guys like Dominic and Tassos Fanos as well.
Yeah, I love the way Ollie adjusts his game to both how he's feeling. I mean, if he just hadn't been stroking it lately, so he took only 4 shots. When he was scoring early, he'd fill it up, but now he's on the scout, and everybody's got a plan for him. And if they're not calling fouls when he drives to the basket, then he's going to do something different. And that's what I was talking about earlier with Janiyah. I look forward to her maturing as a player, where she starts to recognize and be more in tune with that. Like, how can I best help the team tonight? It's not always going to be the same every night, depending on the situation. So,
right. JJ, what were you going to say about Nolan? We had mentioned Nolan.
That was about Ollie. That was the point that I was trying to get in. Yeah.
Well,
Nolan's dope. I love Nolan.
Yeah. So a little bit of history in that game against GSW. 1, huge road win. And 2, Kevon Price becomes the program's all-time leader in points scored.
Yep.
He's got 458 career points.
Yep.
So I think very well he's got a good shot at maybe getting 1,000. He's got 1,016 in his career.
Okay.
Over his 3 years. So if he has a pretty decent rest of the year and then has a really good year next year, could hit.
It's definitely not out of reach. I wouldn't think. I'd have to look at how many games that is and look at the per game and
average.
But it feels within reach. If he scored that many in a season and a half, he's got a season and a half left. So that puts you in the 900 range. So he wouldn't have to outpace it by that much.
Right.
Kevin Libby has a question. Is Kev the Mahomes of these Sandchuck Chiefs? Or just
I don't know.
Ron?
I don't know if there's like a Mahomesian kind of play. I think basketball is a little different.
It is
different. It's more.
I would
of a
think if there was a
Mahomes,
it would kind of have to be point guard, right?
Yeah, this team is just so well run. As I said earlier, and you just go down a list of guys who make those impactful plays. It's one of those teams you look to some teams that haven't had that key star player, but they are a lot better than some of their parts because they have so many ingredients that help them become. There's examples like that in so many sports. But it feels like this USCB team is kind of looking like that.
The Trent Dilfer
we've had some great players, and we do have some really some of the better players in this conference. But I just feel like collectively this team is really starting to gel. And
that's what makes the team what it is the team first mentality.
Yep.
And the fact that it's not about what I can do for me tonight, but what I can do for the team. How can I help the team win? And nothing else matters but the team winning and me doing my job. And I mean, that's what every coach aspires for, but it's it's one thing to desire it, and it's a different thing entirely to create an atmosphere where it can actually metastasize.
Yeah.
And Ron Fodala has done that. I mean, every coach tries to build that culture where everybody's team first, but it's a rare thing to actually get everyone on board for that. And that's why when you talk about or listen to people who've won Super Bowls, and they talk about the most, the most important thing is not having the most talented team. It is having a talented team and on which everyone is bought into a singular goal.
Right.
And every team is talented enough to win a championship, at some level, if you can get everybody on the same page and pulling in the same direction. Now, there may be a more talented team than you that also does the same thing.
Right.
So it may not work out for you, but that's the dream, is get everybody bought into the only thing that matters is that we win, and we are brothers in arms and going to war.
Yep.
It's the challenge. Fodala does a hell of a job of it, man.
As coaches do.
Play for him in any sport, whether he knew anything about the sport or not.
Well, I mean, I'm looking forward to Wednesday's game with Georgia College. You're kind of hitting your stride right now, kind of taking advantage of the teams that are not playing as great right now.
Yep.
And take care of business when you can, and then you got a great game Saturday against North Georgia, who's a top 25 team.
Mm-hmm.
So, but then let's talk about the new segment we added in last week with the rankings, the Southeastern rankings. So USCB stayed in the top 10, number 8. And I'm looking at it right now. I think my rankings are, JJ, I sent you my thought of it today.
Yeah.
And now I kind of have to reevaluate again.
Oh yeah, because
Columbus State won, but Augusta lost.
Because of and Augusta, was Augusta in there?
Augusta was. They
got trounced by Aiken, so you got to do something
right
with them. You can't leave them at 4. And
yeah,
then what are we doing with Aiken now? Are we bringing them into the mix?
I think you put Aiken at Augusta. Yeah, I think you could put Aiken back at 10 and take off mine. You take Young Harris out.
And where are you dropping Augusta to? Because they just got.
I mean, they got dog walked.
Choke slammed by USC Aiken. So yeah, man, I don't know. Some days you're the hammer, and some days you're the nail. I don't know. I guess maybe I'd want to know a little bit more about, was Augusta down anybody? Like what happened there? Because that is just an outlier of a score. So that's curious to me.
I mean, I think you're, at least from so last week's ranking came out, Lenora Rhines number 1, Lincoln Memorial number 2, North Georgia number 3, Columbus State number 4, Coker, UNC Pembroke, Carson Newman, USCB, Lander, and Augusta was the rest of the top 10. I think your top 3 is pretty safe. Lenora Rhine, Lincoln Memorial, and North Georgia, all kind of right there. Those 3 can stay the same. Lenora Rhines won 12 straight or 10 straight, something like that. Lincoln Memorial just obliterated Coker by like 27.
Yeah, you said Lenore Rhines won 10 straight. Yeah, they got to stay 1. LMU beat Carson Newman, crush Coker. You're right. Holy cow. Lost by 27.
Yeah.
North Georgia, yeah. Augusta's got a drop now, so UNC Pembroke's going to move up. I mean, then what do you do? Now you got a conundrum, right? Augusta beat us. We're a game better, 2 wins more than them, 1 less loss. That lopsided loss to Aiken, to me, is.
We only lost by what, 7 to Augusta?
I don't remember.
It was like 1-0. It was like 1-something to 95.
So I was just reading about this Augusta game. I don't know if they were down anybody, but I know that they shot poorly, 37%. They were down 10 early.
We lost by 9. We lost by 9.
Yeah.
Okay.
down
back on the
17
18th.
at the half, and then just packed it in the second half. So I don't know what to make of that. They did have, they had a starter maybe get hurt because he only played 8 minutes. And then it wasn't a foul trouble thing, but I don't know what happened to Torrance. I don't know if how relevant he is. Might have gotten the doghouse too. You never do know. Yeah, he wasn't a key player. So yeah, there's no real explanation for that to me.
Yeah. I mean, but
You
know, they go 1-1 on the week. On the week, we go 2-0. You know, you're looking at it as a whole. I know they still beat us, but
what I'm saying is it could go either way. I think there's justification enough to flip flop them potentially.
I mean, you're going to drop them from 4, at least on my ranking. That loss right there might drop them out of the top 10 overall.
It could certainly, but
those
other getting smoked too.
I
put Coker all the way down at 8.
Yeah, I think I would do as you suggested. I'd actually probably drop. I'd drop on Young Harris out of there, and then I'd slide
Aiken back in.
Aiken, Augusta, Coker, Chowan at the bottom, I think. Keep the rest the same, but slide Augusta down after they got to be below Aiken after they just lost to him by 35.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I think personally, any vote that goes in, even if you keep Augusta in there.
Yeah, they got to be below Aiken. You got to put Aiken in ahead of them.
So Augusta at 10
else would be unjustifiable. Well, I would go Lenoir Rhine, LMU, North Georgia, UNC Pembroke, USCB, Columbus.
You putting us ahead of Columbus?
I mean, you have us ahead of Columbus.
I did flip flop it from the original.
Oh, you did? Okay, well then go.
No. That was I did flip flop it.
USCB Columbus, and that's at 6, right? And Columbus, then we go Aiken, Augusta, Coker, Chowan.
So that one win putting Augusta up to, or putting Aiken up to 7, or
yeah,
that makes
sense.
That's
how I do it. Yeah. I mean, Aiken, you would consider if you were ranking our conference right now. I mean, Columbus and you go North Georgia, USCB, Columbus,
taking the top 5 out of each.
Aiken, Augusta. I mean, yeah, that's what I would say. Not top 5 out of each, but at this point, I think it's 5 from the Peach, 4 from the one, and 1 from the other, or whatever. I don't know what it is. Whatever we came up with last week. The one conference we only had 1 team in, right?
That was
but we added Chowan, right?
Well, yeah, Chowan's done pretty well here in the last few weeks.
Yeah, so. I like it. I like it. That's pretty good representation. 2 from the I can't keep all the damn conferences straight, dude. Conference Carolinas has which schools in it? I got to pull up their standings.
The Peach Belt, the SAC, and Conference Carolinas.
Yeah. Conference Carolinas. Yeah, I just remember one of them was pretty weak when we looked at it last week.
That was Conference Carolinas.
Yeah, Conference Carolinas. But yeah, I agree that UNCP, obviously, we know they're the real deal.
Right.
Chowan looks, they won 5 in a row. I like that. That one division is awful, and the other one's not great. Emmanuel's at 3-0, but 9-7 overall. So yeah, I think those are the right 2 teams from there. And then the South Atlantic. Is that what it's called?
The South Atlantic Conference.
Yeah. The SAC, the SAC. What that means. I don't like when they just have little icons instead of the word standings because I don't know what those little icons mean. Yeah, those 3. Yeah, I think that's the right 10 teams, and there's different ways to stack them up, but they all work for me.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's a fair assessment. So Lenore, Rhine, LMU, North Georgia, UNCP, USCB, Columbus State, Aiken, Augusta, Coker, and Chowan.
Yep. Knowing that they're going to get shaken up like Boggle next week because people are going to beat people, and that's the way it is. I mean, that's the nature of the beast.
Yeah. No, I agree. I 100% agree. So we'll see what the standing is. We'll send it in tonight, and then we'll see how it goes. So,
all right.
But, all right, guys, final thoughts before we sign off on this episode of The Rewind?
Yeah, I mean, building opportunity for that women's teams for sure. It's tough to drop the one that you get, especially to Lander. But I still like development for those ladies, especially with what Lydia Gattosi has done in this first season so far. I think she's been everything we've hoped for to be, and a lot more. And she's done a great job piecing the squad. So really, really excited about the way she's been playing. And then it's great to have Janai Hayward back, and Bostic's been knocked down a couple of big shots. Unfortunately, not enough in that Lander game. And just, this team, I think there's a lot more excitement to come from these players that have given so much effort this year, especially some that have come back from injury. And just hope that we were able to get better health as we get down the stretch. And this team, I think if this team is at full health, is going to be dangerous in this conference. I still believe that. So I'm excited about this women's team. This guy's team lives up to the hype and so much more. And what an opportunity that will come their way these next 2 games. They take care of business on Wednesday night in the whiteout against Georgia College. It will be a heck of a showdown on Saturday, and hopefully will be a packed house both of those days, on Wednesday night and Saturday afternoon over at the Co. Austin to get basketball back. And I'll tell you what, it is coming very quickly. But baseball and softball, it's right around the corner.
Got a couple weeks to think about it. Baseball opens the season.
Yeah.
Both baseball and softball open the season on the weekend of the 31st to the 2nd. So.
Man, it is right upon us.
Yeah. And then February 8th is a deadly day in USCB history. We've got 4 events going on, 5 events technically. Men and women's basketball, doubleheader baseball, doubleheader softball, and women's golf has a dual match here in Beaufort at
Oh my gosh.
Goodness.
So
R.I.P. Bracken.
R.I.P. Bracken. That's
it is a
5
recaps. A super Saturday. And I'm not going to say the rest because it's I don't want to say the name of of what occurs the next day. I don't want to get myself in trouble.
The Superb Owl? You mean the Superb Owl? No, what was I gonna say? I don't know. I'm getting so tired. But yeah, Chat GPT. You might want to start learning how to use that.
I do have my
just gotta make sure you're careful when you edit it.
Yeah. My student intern, Jessica Edwards, who's also on the women's golf team, I might say, hey, I know you just finished up with your tournament, but I need you to write me a recap of it.
Right. Yeah.
So exactly. It's gonna be a busy day, but it'll be a great day. So, all right, guys. Well, yeah, excited for Wednesday, Whiteout Wednesday, the first official Whiteout Wednesday. We're gonna try and start this tradition after this game, hopefully, and I can't wait to see you guys. So.
Ice them out, baby.
All right. So for Justin Jarrett, Wes Kerr, I'm Bracken Lambert. And thank you guys for watching another episode of the Sand Shark Rewind. And as always, keep those fins up. We will see you next week. Take care.